Welcome once again to our studies in the book of Ezra. Today we're looking at chapters 7 and 8, so please, if you can, open your Bible to this passage. As soon as we do so, you will notice that something very strange happens. At long last, in the book that bears his name, Ezra appears. But when he does come, it becomes apparent that 60 years have passed after the events described in the first 6 chapters. We now find ourselves in 458 BC. How do we explain this? Chapter 6 certainly left us on a high with the temple rebuilt and reconsecrated. However, the author of Ezra hastens to describe Ezra, the great scribe's ministry, because only with him does the work of restoration arrive at its final, satisfying conclusion. In particular, only then are the people of God set before us as an example of how the work of God is ultimately to be sustained. A brief reading of these 2 chapters shows that tremendous stress is placed upon Ezra's position as scribe and a teacher of the law of God. In the previous chapters, Haggai and Zechariah had been active. However, with then and Malachi, the completion of God's Old Testament revelation had taken place. Until the coming of Jesus, the Lord stopped speaking to his people in the way that he had formerly done, and this is why Ezra's teaching ministry is now stressed so much. The completion of what we know as the Old Testament revelation means that the people are not for the present to look for a new message from God, but to those who can teach the words that God has already spoken. Notice then what we are told about Ezra. It says that he was adept in grasping the message of the Bible, chapter 7 verse 6, wholly dedicated to it, verse 10, lived out what he had learned, find that in the same verse, and then instructed others from what he had learned. We find that clearly at the end of chapter 8. Without such a ministry as foundational to the life of the people of God, no continuing growth and success could be expected. The Jews, as they are now called, recognized this, and Ezra became a model for subsequent teaching ministries among them. The lessons of these 2 chapters are vital today. No longer does God speak as he did through the Old Testament prophets and the New Testament apostles. Just then, as the Bible teaching ministry became the foundation stone of synagogue life before Jesus came, so the scriptures must be the foundation around which church life is based today. Both believers and especially teachers are to be people of the book, devoted to understanding, living out, and teaching the message of God.